And so, speaking of the elections, what has President Biden done to address housing affordability and availability?
Well, he got the message that people are dissatisfied with the state of the housing market because he's right. I think it was either during or right after the State of the Union a couple of weeks ago. He announced a couple of initiatives. One is to put $2 billion towards the building of affordable housing, which has been a refrain for years of people in the housing industry, that we need more affordable housing just about everywhere in the country, and it's difficult to build affordable housing for a variety of reasons. So the president came out and said, they're going to try to help build more affordable housing.
Well, Bob, could you explain the differences between Biden's economic policies versus Trump's economic policies?
To tell you the truth, I'm not sure, what Trump's policy is towards making housing more affordable. Um, he hasn't really come out with much. I think that Biden also is reactive. He sees that perhaps he's not going to get support from people because of the difficulty of buying a house. So he's at this late date is deciding to put more money towards it. So I think that whoever votes for Donald Trump is not going to vote for Donald Trump because of his housing policies. I guess that's what I'm trying to say. And people that will vote for Joe Biden might not vote for Joe Biden because of his housing policies. But the housing policy is part of the larger economic picture of how maybe it's more difficult for people to get by economically than they think it should be, with inflation, with the difficulty in buying houses, the high gasoline prices.
I mean, do people actually want to buy houses these days? I mean, I just feel like we're in this world of renting.
Well, yes, and renting's getting more expensive too. That's the crazy thing, because all the expenses that landlords have, they're passing along to their renters. Um, the question of why would anybody buy a house at this time? Um, I'm a homeowner, and I get at least once or twice, maybe three times a week, I get spam or postcards in the mail. Hey, we've sold all these houses in your neighborhood for this outrageous amount of money. Why don't you put your home on the market? We can get you, more than, certainly in my case, more than I ever thought I would get, and I'm not sure I would get it anyway. So there's an effort to get me to sell. There's always going to be buyers because people don't. Most people, I think, don't buy a house as an investment. They buy a house as a place to live. So if you're in a one bedroom apartment and you just had your second kid, you're going to want to, and you have the wherewithal, you're going to want to buy a house. Or say that you have three children that have all left the house, and it's a little bit too big for you now, or you just don't need the house. You're going to want to buy a new one. And a lot of times it doesn't really matter what part what part of the cycle we're in. If we're in the high interest rates or low interest rates, you just need a place to live.